Hello and welcome to the Writer Inspired Show. I'm speaking to Amanda today, Amanda Shelley. Pleased to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Really good. As I say, I'll go cut straight to it and say we're here to help you. So, what's the challenges you face? But firstly, before I ask that, just talk to me a little bit about yourself, what you're doing with your books and stuff like that, and then what challenges you face.
Okay, well, I have released this is my first year of releasing books. I released a duet in January,
Okay.
and I write contemporary romance.
Yeah.
And I released in January, February, April 14th, and I have another book due out in June 30th, and then
Okay.
September 29th. So that's kind of my plan right now. I was fortunate enough to have most of my books written prior to this.
Okay.
And so prior to releasing the first one. So now it's a matter of trying to figure out that whole marketing thing. I'm also trying to build my audience.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
trying to just figure out how to manage. I also teach full time outside of writing. And so it's been a lot different now that we're we're being home.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to find a manage and a break to everything, but I'm also trying to figure out when my goal was to originally, I'm wide, so I release everywhere. And my goal was originally to move from, my goal was to go, like once I got 5 or 6 books out, start to do the marketing aspect of it. But I'm not quite sure when to pull that trigger because the money's not quite coming in as much as I'd like it to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I'm growing my audience on Instagram, Facebook. I have a readers group. I'm trying to build an audience on Pinterest,
Okay.
and I'm even like in BookBub and Goodreads and things like that as well. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So basically, your biggest challenge is marketing and how to sort of build it and grow it.
Mm-hmm. And when to pull that trigger of starting. I mean, I'm running small Amazon ads at this point, but I'm not quite there yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. Okay, so you've done Amazon ads, you've done BookBub ads, you've done Facebook ads.
I have not done. I have actually not been putting a lot of money into BookBub or into Facebook yet. So.
Okay, which one do you enjoy doing the most?
Um, I have really only done Amazon ads at this point.
Right.
So the BookBub ads, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of money to put into it at the moment. So I
Yeah.
have to, it's that weird place. Does that make sense?
Okay. No, so what I'll do is I'll split this up. Obviously, your challenge is getting marketing. And is there a particular figure that you've got in mind? You don't have to share it with me, but is there a particular figure in mind that you've got that you want to hit each month? Maybe
At this point, I would really just like to pay for that next release.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, then.
I mean, because I've only gotten 4 books out, and my last book finally, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I outsold on Amazon or on Apple versus Amazon. So, and I didn't do anything different, so I don't know what I did.
Okay, fair enough. That's pretty good. Let's say a lot of romance writers, they do go exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
What you find? Just to get to the thing, obviously, as I said, with the romance books, a lot of people stay in KU, and it gives them real great opportunity to really push it. So just so I can get to the bottom of it, what other things are you doing? So what sells best? Is it the actual book itself? Is it ebook? What's working best for you?
I would say that, well, first I'm doing, my ebooks are outperforming my paperbacks by far, but I'm not willing to go exclusive to Amazon because I truly outsold Apple last month with my 3rd book.
Yeah, no, I can get that. I totally get it. Yeah, that's fine. It's, as I say to people, it's what works best for you. If you feel, my long-term aim is to go out exclusive, go outside of it as well. So.
I've hired a PR company. So I have, when I go to do a release, I do 2 teaser blitzes prior to, I do a cover reveal, 2 teaser blitzes, and a release party, or like a review blitz type of thing. I've also, that the week or 2, like the week before and the week after my release, I've been doing a lot of takeovers in different small groups on Facebook. And something, I mean, I don't know if it's the book or whatnot. I mean, just the difference. With it only being book 3, it's not like I have a lot to go off of.
Yeah, it honestly does take a lot of time. To say I'm on my 8th book now, and
Mhm.
you know, non-fiction, and I wouldn't say that I'm sitting here on piles of money. It just takes a lot of time for people to get to know who you are and what you're doing. And I've actually moved genre as well, so that probably doesn't help me either. But as far as email, have you got an email list? Have you got any?
I'm starting to do that. I joined a group of people who are going to do a teaser for the summer, where it's a download, like if you where you it's actually called Just a Lick, because it's romance. It's just a taste of the book. And so a group of 20 authors and I are started to have come together. We're in this one free download. You'll get to preview either 1 to 3 chapters, depending on if they're KU or not. If they're wide, you can go up to 3 chapters. And then if they like it, I've set up a book funnel account just for my first book, that they can download. I don't know if my first book didn't do as well because it was the first book, or if it's because it was a duet. Some people don't want to do the 2 books investment on a brand new author. And so
a couple of things that I would come up with. Obviously, I'll look at the email list,
okay.
and then I did a post in the group today about growing the email list and lead magnet. So with your books, you've got a enticing sort of lead magnet in there at the start and right at the end. So once you've hit the end, you know, they've read the book and, you know, the last words, and the next page is, do you want to sign up to such and such? Have you got all that in there?
Yes, I do. And I also have my next books for pre-orders, because I'm wide. I can do long releases or long pre-orders.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, you can. The same with Amazon, have extended theirs for a year as well, but obviously you've got more power with that as well, Kobo and stuff. And what marketing, aside from, obviously we talked about BookBub, AMS and stuff like that, but when it comes to your first sort of like 30 days of launch, what sort of like, do you do any paid sites?
I have not done any paid sites yet. I actually got a Kobo. I got Kobo deals for the first time last month, like the promotion where you get the 40% off type of thing.
Yep, yep.
And that right there, I had never sold a book on Kobo prior to that. So, I mean, it started, and I've applied to do it again this month. So hopefully, and then I'm trying to do as much free marketing as I can, because obviously the money's not there quite yet. But I have, so I'm doing Kobo. I also, this next month on Barnes and Noble, I decided to, I got those coupon things. I've never done it yet. So it's starting next month. I'll have buy one book, get 150% off on Barnes and Noble. So hopefully I'll see a growth in that too.
That's fair enough. So one thing I suggest as well, when you're applying on Kobo, there's several other offers as well. There's 3 for 2, all that sort of stuff. So have a look. And do you use any distributors? So I'm guessing you go pretty much straight direct.
I go to exclusive.
Kobo.
Yeah.
Is there any others that have you used any other distributors or not?
Right now my books are on Apple, Google Play, Kobo, Barnes and Noble, and Amazon. I have a Mac with Vellum, so I can upload directly to everywhere.
Yeah.
I wanted to cut out that middleman.
No, I understand. I understand. What I would suggest is to have a look, and this isn't because there's smaller companies out there that are doing quite well, and it might just help to generate a bit of money, and you won't lose any money out of it. Although Publisher Drive has recently changed what they do.
Which companies are you referring to?
There's Publisher Drive, they're a distributor. I would have a look at them, but I think they charge like $20 a month now. It used to be they take a percentage of your royalties if you earn it, and Draft Digital was the other one to have a look at as well. And there's several smaller places that you can upload your book, just like you would do with Kobo or Apple. Okay. You just send it, and then obviously they get 10%, 15% of your royalties if you earn any money from them.
I have no problem with that, but I don't even know what they are. So that's okay. I would love that list of.
Sure. What I can do is bear with me after this conversation. I will send over to you a link where I've got in the units, the group that we've got. It talks a bit about wide and what I used, and that might be some help. But Publisher Drive is pretty good, and they do free stuff as well. But I think they've now gone to a paid thing where you have to pay £20 or $20 a month for the first thing, so that might not be an option. But Draft Digital was certainly something to do. But just have a look at with Publisher publisher drive as well, because they have China. So they've got the opening of China as well, which is huge. And there's several English companies as well, like Waterstones and stuff, or Drafted Digital, I think. But you'll have to have a look. Drafted Digital, I might be wrong on that, but I think definitely it's Publisher Drive with Waterstones. So, that'll be an excellent opportunity for you there. But the main thing with Publisher Drive is China. They've got this massive opportunity to perhaps have a look at that. But that's what I would look at. And I know it's obviously about money and stuff like that, but I would look at some paid sites. So when your book launches, if you go, right, okay, and it doesn't have to be, there's loads out there. And again, it's not finished, but I've got a 12-page emergency toolkit that I do. I'll send that over to you. It goes to the paid sites, and there's another gentleman as well that does something like that. I'll probably send it over to you. That'll be a bit more information. In fact, probably a bit more detail for you. So I'll send that over to you too. And that just goes down to the paid sites, top tier ones, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and you can have a look and decide on what you want. But romance is the biggest genre on Amazon, and I say it's a great opportunity to go for it. But it does take time and being strategic of what you're doing. And I would recommend building your email list, if I'm honest, and that would be your best bet.
That's my goal this summer.
Yeah. And this is what I would do if I was in your position. I would have a look at what's your lead magnet. What would you say? Was it just like a few some chapters? Was it?
Well, this particular promotion that I'm doing this summer is it's a lead magnet, but it's also it's through BookFunnel, and what will happen is they can download the book for free. They read if they like it, then they can down my book through the end of the summer for free, the whole first book of my duet.
No, fair enough. That's pretty good. Yeah.
And so hopefully that will get my my newsletter built up, and I can also use that same link. I have BookFunnel. I can have up to 500 or whatever a month downloads or whatever. So
yeah. And then I would also look at Facebook ads and do something. And again, this isn't about spending £20, £30 or $30 a day. This is how much if it's $5. I managed to grow my email list from 0 to 2,000 in 3 months by spending about $5, $6 a day.
Okay. So
it's something for you to consider.
Are you giving away your entire first book on Amazon for free?
I did, but it didn't work for me. What I found is, and again, this is a thing, but might work for you on other places. So they reckon it's still really strong, and Kobo's really good as well. But what I did was my first book, Hope Over Anxiety book, did really well for free because people took it free and then got the audio book too. So I made money from it that way. It wasn't amazing. I was expecting like thousands of downloads a week. That wasn't the case. It was more 400 or 500 downloads, which is a lot less. So, but I do recommend you have a look at seeing if you can do a free, permanently free.
My goal is to do a permanently free book. I'm starting a series that will come out in September, the first book. And when I get most of that done, I'll drop that first book free in that series. I'm just not quite ready to go completely free on my, because I only have a duet and then a standalone and then another standalone. So I'm not quite ready to.
No, it's a fight as well.
Yeah. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I totally get it. I had a bit of palpitations, all these hours of pain and that you put into this book, and then you're going to give it away for free, so like you're wincing and you're not getting anything back. That's what I found difficult. But
my plan is to give it for free, but I want to do it on a longer series, not on just a standalone.
Okay. So how do you want to feel? So if I said in 2 years' time, we pick up the phone, where do you want to be with your writing career? Where just let loose.
If I had my pie in the sky, I would like to. I would really like to start looking at not having to teach full time as my real job. I'm finishing 20 years this year. I love my kids, but I also I have 4 kids of my own, and I would like to. Like within 5 years from now, maybe be looking at possible other opportunities of not working full time, outside of the home. I would like to continue to release books at least 3 to 4 a year. Okay. My goal is I have to write 4 a year if I'm going to release them. So I need to make sure I get that time. I also need to find that balance so that I can do it. I'm taking as many marketing classes. I'm trying to do, that's the part, as a teacher, I'm used to giving things away for free. Yeah. And you just give your help and everything. And so I'm needing to make sure that I'm marketing myself. And then I would like to continue to have books rolling out, just keep going. And I don't know how my life would be different, but I'm hoping I can find a balance and make sure I'm getting those words written every day too.
Fair. And how do you want to feel? So in a few years' time, when you achieve that, how do you want to feel?
I want to feel like I've been on the right track and that I made the right choices. Obviously, I honestly, even a year from now till now, I feel so like I'm getting there and I'm going in that direction. So I want to continue on the path that I'm going. I want to continue to take classes because I believe I'm always a lifelong learner, and I want to just continue. You can always, like glean knowledge from everyone else too. So,
just talk about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Mark Dawson's course?
I am a part of the I didn't do his marketing one, but I've done his I like the 101 class.
Yeah. I think that course for me is the best marketing course for authors. Period. Okay. They've done loads of stuff in the past. You've got Pinterest on there. You've got Instagram. How to grow on Instagram. They've got Amazon. There's a lady that I think they haven't launched it yet, but I'll have to have a double check actually for that. But there was a lady that used to work for Amazon, really high up, is actually redoing the Amazon part of the course, and they've got Facebook on there as well, and there's loads more. They keep adding, improving all the time. So I recommend once that goes live, and that'll probably be next sort of 2 or 3 months, would be my guess.
Okay.
I'd have a look at that, but I regard that as brilliant. And to say, it's not too expensive either. You're looking at about $1,000, which can pay over 12 months. So it's not really that much of a thing, but I think it's amazing. He puts so much time and effort into it. Mark Dawson, for me, is the best course.
Okay.
That'll be my recommendation to have a look at that, and that'll give you a bit more help and support with it as well, especially Instagram. But yeah, so you've talked about challenges a little bit as well. You've talked about having the right balance, which is something I picked up on. So what do you feel is your biggest challenge with that? Is it the fact that you sort of like you want so much to launch these books and be successful, that you're focusing on that, or is it the fact that you've got other responsibilities and you feel that sort of like affecting what you're doing?
It's once I go into a release mode, like the 2 weeks prior to it, and even the week or two after, I feel like I don't get any time to write. Like I'm always promoting. So I need to figure out how to do that. I also realized that I was writing a lot, like while I was at my kids' sporting events, and we're not going anywhere right now. I mean, I would bring my laptop to practices and I would sit and I would write while they were at practice. Well, guess what? That time is not available anymore. And so it's just adjusting to the new normal. And but also I need to when I feel like when I'm constantly trying to do stuff for marketing, but I've even tried to schedule posts and I've tried to do those types of things just to save my time. But it's that whole finding a balance, especially with the new normal, like these last couple months. I did manage to finish a book and get it through the one round of editing already, but it's been crazy.
I understand that. For me, and something that I've learned from other businesses, is when you're first starting out and you're getting it's chaos. So understand that, it is going to be difficult to start with because you haven't got that clarity of exactly what process works best for you. A couple of things that I do, I don't know whether they'll work for you, but may help you. So when I'm writing my book, I'll do the rough draft, and then I'll leave it 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, I then get the blurb done, I get the keywords done, all that sort of stuff. So that takes quite a bit of pressure. Also, my Author Essential, I get all that set up. I can't put it up yet, but I get all that out of the way, so that when it does come to launching, I've pretty much taken quite a lot of that pressure away. Does that make sense? So that's one thing I recommend you do with that. And the other question I'd like to ask you really is, you're saying that you can't write. Is there any other time during the day where you can do it? And does it mean if you can't do it for 2 hours, could you block it up?
My goal is I do best when I do sprints. I just stop myself, even if it's just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I can write, 700 words in a half hour sometimes if I'm going there. My issue is with our distance learning. I'm stuck on a computer all day. And so, um, so I'm trying to, and I'm also, as soon as I get done with my teaching, I'm having to also go home and teach my kids. So I'll be happy when June comes and school's out. You know, just because trying to get 4 kids, there's physically not enough hours in the day. And then I tried to, I just released a book last month, and I'm gearing up for my next one at the end of the next month. So I'm trying to go from there.
Oh, what do you love the most about writing? Is it the marketing? Is it the actual writing itself? What do you love to do the most?
I actually like the writing part of it. Like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but there's that natural high that you get once you're going. I mean, I can survive off of 3 hours of sleep in the whole next day if I'm going for it. You know what I'm saying? But if I got 12 hours of sleep and didn't write that day, then I feel kind of sluggish. I don't know how to
No,
I've never slept 12 hours since I've had kids, but you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. So that's quite interesting to say. It's like pouring your heart out, and that's something that you just
No.
it gives you that joy. And I totally agree. If I don't write, then it does affect me. So
I do like the I like making. I like the advertising part. Like, I like doing the graphics and those types of things too.
Yeah.
I mean, but and also just building those relationships, like trying to make sure you post every day in every place, and it's really cool to hear from fans.
Yeah. If I was in your position, I would. If you enjoy more about writing, I would focus on building your email list and sort of not putting so much pressure on yourself, because as authors, we want to do everything. There's social media you've got to focus on. And it's not just one social media. You've got Twitter, you've got Instagram, and you've got to do all of that sort of stuff, and you've got to respond to people and stuff like that.
Exactly.
What you love, and just focus on that, if I'm honest, and just say, look, okay, I'm doing my best, and then build your email list, and then make a promise to yourself and to the people that you're emailing. I'll do it once a week, for example, or once every 4 weeks, whatever works best for you, and just take it from there and grow it. And that it will take a lot of your worry about getting reviews and stuff as well, and then you get a lot more feedback. That'll be my personal opinion. Start focusing a little bit more on your email list, because it's about building the foundation. Because what we look at as authors, and I don't want to go on too much, but what we look at as authors, we always look at the 1 to 3% that want to buy your book now. What we don't look at is the other 47% that will buy your book later, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to get that so no, hang on. Just be careful, just build that momentum up, and just get those, bring that relationship up as well, and you'll be amazed. To say, I'm aiming to write a romance book this year, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. Contemporary romance, as it is. But as I say, I understand how difficult it is, but a few things I would look at as well, if you can. You talked about ebooks, paperback as well. What paperbacks have you got?
Everything I have is available on paperback.
Yeah. So is it KDP?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, and Barnes & Noble usually is where they traditionally go. I have yet to set up through Ingram Spark. Okay. So everyone, my goal is to do that. I just haven't done it yet.
That's fair enough. There's a lot to think about, but I would look at in the future. This is not something to do straight away, but look at going on Ingram Spark as well and getting that set up. Obviously, you've got KDP print as well, so that's pretty cool.
I've got that.
It distributes a lot further out. And also, when I talked to you earlier about Publisher Drive and Draft Digital, they're both launching, and this is quite exciting. They're both launching a beta program for paperbacks, and that means that places like China will get paperback versions opportunities of your book as well. So I think that's a pretty good thing to just have a look at. Don't have to do too much about it, just have a look at. So I think that'd be quite cool. Obviously, audiobooks is another great area, but you're talking the thousands, and again, that's putting money in that you haven't got. So.
I am a huge audio fan, and my pie in the sky is to be able to have audios released with my books, but I have to start. That's a huge commitment on me.
Yeah, and it's financial. Yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, that's the difference. It just my goal is to eventually do that. I just can't do it quite yet.
I can understand that. And one thing that Joanna Penn, I don't know whether you know her, amazing non-fiction, fiction author. Her mother, one of her books, 31% of her sales came from paperback sales, which were large print.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something else to again, it's just getting all as much as you possibly can do with it. I've got a few other ideas that I'm going to be floating with my book, but
So were you suggesting that you also offer the large print option?
yeah,
Okay.
have a look into it. Obviously, for romance, it might be different to what she was dealing with, but you're talking about people that with disabilities and stuff as well. So people go, I can't physically read that. You may be able to make it bigger on the actual screen with ebook, but if people want paperbacks, they haven't got that option to actually read it. So it may be something. Just have a look into it. It might not work for romance. It might not be that amount of people that that are interested in it. But
Well, it doesn't take much to click the button on KDP and just say, here it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's something to look at for me.
Okay. Well, I was just setting up my next book that I'll think of. That's something to go back and think about. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. As I say, is there any more questions you'd like to ask me?
No, I've been appreciating all that you've been doing those. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm just passionate. I apologize if I've sort of like cut you off when you've been talking, but I just want to give you as much help as I can.
Oh, it's totally great. I appreciate it. This will give me, you've given me some ideas that I didn't even realize about.
You're welcome.
I think the problem is there's just so much to know, and when you're new, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. I had a conversation with a fairly well-known business woman about 6 months ago, and I said, right, okay, this is what you need to do to write a book, because she went, oh my god. So like, yeah, exactly. And that probably puts a lot of people off. But just focus on what's important to you. And then just go from that. There's going to be times where it's going to get difficult for you, and like for me, I know what it's like. But yeah, just focus on that. As far as marketing is concerned, and one thing that I sort of like was thinking about when we were talking with Amazon, and again, I know that obviously you're not exclusive to Amazon, but with Amazon, the first 30 days is absolutely imperative. If you probably know this anyway, Chris Fox is talking about in his book. Again, that's a book I recommend, the Six-Figure Author. That might be something to be helpful to you as well. But Chris Fox is talking that first 30 days, if you can get people buying the book quite early on and they know what sort of people that are buying it, Amazon will then start marketing it. First 30 days is absolutely amazing. If you can get about 100, 200 people, you're laughing, and they know the data. Because if you get people sort of like don't really into romance and they buy other different books, it confuses the algorithm for it. But that's really a big focus. And the last thing I will give you information, there's a gentleman called David Garan.
Who? I'm sorry?
David Garan.
Okay.
He's on YouTube. Have a look at him. He started to do a few YouTubes, but he's also got a website as well. Absolutely amazing bloke. He goes into so much detail about BookBub, AMS, Facebook ads, email marketing, all of this free. He does it on a weekly basis. He does it. I really recommend it. He's so passionate as well. I recommend sort of having looking into him. But again, focus on what's important to you. If this is too much for you, just go, whoa, hang on. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'll do. David Garan. I shall fire over the name properly because I've probably pronounced his name wrong, and I apologize to him if he's listening to this. But yeah, absolutely amazing. It's so much information you learn from him.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me before we go?
Do you mind sending me that list of other places to publish directly?
Sure, I could do that. Yeah, no problem.
That would be really wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've got a screenshot. I'll try and send the link, but you're in the group anyway, so I shall probably have a look at it and I'll show you.
Or even just tag me in it, so that way I can make sure because sometimes Facebook hides some of the stuff that you don't see it.
Yes. It's getting crafty if I'm honest, Facebook. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll tag you in it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hopefully I've been some help. And thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.